Hello everyone, welcome back with me. My name is Komang Pridayanti from class A2 Denpasar. Okay, so in this video, I will present about active and passive voice. Okay, let's start with the definition of active and passive voice. Okay, so active voice tells us what a person or thing does. So for the example, Anna painted the house. And then for the passive voice is tell us what is done to someone or something. So for example, the house was painted by Anna. Okay, and then how to change active voice into passive voice? For present simple passive is used to talk about some action that are performed in the present or repeatedly habits. For the structure, for active voice is subject plus verb 1. And then for the passive voice is subject plus to be is are. And then plus verb 3. For example, I make a cake for active voice and then a cake is made by me for the passive voice. And then the negative forms of present simple passive, just put not between am is or are. For the example, Spanish is not spoken in China. And then for my question in present simple passive, swap the subject am is or are. For example, are US dollars accepted at Dubai airport? And then another example is coffee served here? And then for present continuous passive. We use present continuous passive for action happening right now or in progress. At the moment of speaking, when we want to focus attention on the person or thing. For the structure, subject plus to be and then plus verb ing for active voice. And then for the passive voice, subject plus to be plus being and then plus verb 3. Okay, so here is the example. And then the negative forms of present continuous passive. Just put not between to be and being. You can also isn't or aren't. For example, the classroom aren't being cleaned now. And then for the question in present continuous passive, the structure for asking question in the present continuous passive is example. The structure is to be plus subject plus being and then plus past participle. For example, is what house are being built opposite the park? And then for past simple passive. The past simple passive is formed by using was or were plus the past participle. The passive is used when the person or thing that did the action is unknown, unimportant, or not the focus of our interest. The structure for the active voice is subject plus verb to for the example. And then the passive voice is subject plus was plus were plus verb 3. For example, some trees are being planted. Negative form of past simple passive. The structure is subject plus was or were plus not plus verb 3. For example, his parents' car was not stolen by the thief last night. And then for make the question in past simple passive, the structure is was or were plus subject plus verb 3 and then plus question mark. For example, was his parents' car stolen by the thief last night? And then for future simple passive. Future simple passive is used to talk about an action that is going to happen in the future. For example, the structure is subject plus will plus verb 1. And then for passive voice is subject plus will plus verb 3. For example, I will give you writing assignment in Japanese tomorrow. And then passive voice is you will be given a writing assignment in Japanese tomorrow. Okay, and to make negative forms of future simple passive, for example, the football match won't be played because of bad weather. And for make the question in future simple passive, the structure is will plus subject plus be plus past participle. For example, will Jen be visited by her relatives from New York? And then will the room be cleaned tomorrow? And then for present perfect passive. The present perfect passive is used formed by a present tense form of the verb have plus the past participle being followed by a past participle. For the structure, active voice subject plus have or has plus verb 3. And then for the passive voice is have or has plus been plus verb 3. For the example, for active voice is Lina has been eaten banana for 2 hours. And then the passive voice is banana has been eaten by Lina for 2 hours. And then the negative has plus not plus been plus verb 3 for the example. A good news has not been made by me. And then the interrogative, the structure is have plus have or has plus subject plus been plus verb 3. And then plus question mark. For example, has a good news been made by me? And then next is past perfect passive. The past perfect tense form is made by putting had before the past participle form of the verb. For the structure is for the passive form had been plus past participle form of the verb. For the example, the job had been finished by her. And then the parcel had been received by them. Then for negative forms of past perfect tense, for example, mistake hadn't been studied by me. And then for the question in passive, past perfect passive, the structure is had plus subject plus been plus past participle. For example, had a mistake been made by him? And then passive voice without be. We can use passive voice without be, but the sentence must be compound sentence. Okay, for the example, she has some new bags. But he said in Sydney, it is a passive sentence. So it is a passive sentence. And then passive voice, passive of verbs containing two objects. Many verbs can followed by two objects, an indirect object and direct object. The direct object usually refers to a person and the direct object usually refers to a thing. For example, she gave me direct object a nice gift. Direct object. And then passive voice of sentence containing preposition. When we put an active sentence where a preposition follows after the verb. For example, break into, look after, listen to. Into passive, the preposition remains immediately after the verb. For the example of active sentence, someone broke into the pet shop and then they looked for the baby. And then for the passive sentence, the pet shop was broken into. The baby was looked for. The man is shouted at. Then music is listened to. Okay, and then passive of verb with object and object complement. Some transitive verbs can be followed by an object together with an object complement, which is usually an expression that gives more information about the object. For example, they elected him their leader. Okay, after some props, we use the structure object plus s plus complement. Verbs that are usually followed by the structure are see, describe, regard, identify, consider, and etc. For example, I see him as a nice person. Then we consider the project as wasteful. Okay, so that is my presentation about active and passive voice. Then thank you so much for attention. Goodbye.